These instructions show you the steps I took to create the Google form you just completed as if you were a student. The first thing you need to determine is the kind of question you want to ask. Forms is automatically set to short answer, but by clicking on the drop-down, you'll see that there are many options for creating questions. The first question I asked you was your first name. This was considered a short answer response. If you want to prevent students from skipping questions, you'll need to manually mark each question as required by activating the button at the bottom right. Again, you must do this for each question if you want students to answer every question. To create a question, simply click on the plus button and another space will appear. This example shows how I created the linear scale or rating question. First, I selected linear scale from the dropdown. Then I typed in the question. Last, I added the labels to anchor the ends of the scale. You were then able to choose a response between 1 to 5 of how you felt about teaching online. It took me a long time to understand multiple choice versus check boxes. This question on the left is a classic multiple choice, and on the right, this is a check boxes. Notice that with the multiple choice, a student can only choose one correct answer, and the answers are depicted with the round radio dials. In a checkboxes question, students are able to select all of the correct answers that apply. You'll also notice that the responses are actually boxes, not round radio dials. So those are the most frequently used questions and answer formats. And now I'll turn our attention to a few control settings that will make collection and grading easy. You'll want to check the settings each time you create a Google form. Settings can be found by clicking on the gear shift in the upper right corner. The settings box will appear on screen, and there are 3 categories under settings: general, presentation, and quizzes. In the general category, I always collect the email address of the respondents as a deterrent to cheating. It's not foolproof, but it is a deterrent. I also only accept one response, and after students submit their forms, they cannot reopen the quiz and change the answers. Personally, I never allow students to resubmit, nor do I allow them to see how others are answering the questions. In the presentation category of settings, the 2 features I use are Show Progress Bar, which just keeps a tally for each student, letting them know they have 3 questions remaining or 5 questions, whatever it is. This is particularly helpful for time tests, and I think the confirmation message relieves students' fears of whether they actually have submitted at the end of a quiz or not. The last category is quizzes. If you want to use automatic grading, then you must make this a quiz. Personally, I don't allow students to see the results in real time in case I need to throw out a poorly written question or hand grade an essay question. And my personal preference is that students cannot see correct answers to discourage cheating. And I don't think point values will be as useful in a non-credit class as they are, say, in my high school classes. So to actually enable an automatic grading, there are 3 steps. First, in settings, select Make this a quiz. Second, at the bottom left of the actual question, you need to click on Answer Key. And last, imprint the correct answer and click Done. The green highlight will only appear on your teacher version. The student version only shows the response options just as you saw when you took the practice test. After the students have responded, you can see which students have submitted and which haven't, see missed items as an entire class or by individual student, and then see how many students missed a specific question. Then review it after class. You can call me if you have more questions.